And we are live on another edition of the K and K Sports Show. Um, January 15th. I'm going to say it right this year, guys. 2025. NFL playoffs, national championship game Monday. Something else is Monday. I know that. We'll go over that later on tonight. We'll go over that. But I got a big slate Monday. That's all I'm going to say. Big slate. I'm not leaving the house. But opening statement. For me, listen, tough Sunday, right, Graham? But I tell you this, I cannot wait to free agency, to the draft, because you know what? Sean Payton said it today. We're coming for the AFC West. That's what he wants. That's what he expects. So with that, I'll say hello to Mr. Graham. How are you tonight, Graham?
I'm doing good. It's good that we have our franchise quarterback now for probably 15 years.
Listen, from what we dealt with, Graham, the last 8-9 years, I mean, this is the first offseason in forever. Who are we going to trade for? Who are we going to draft? None of that no more. We don't need that garbage. We got our guy. So I am pumped up with that, Graham. Carson Shear, what are you doing at 8 o'clock on this Saturday night?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Glad to be here. Yeah, Saturday night, Lions taking on the Commanders. Love the opponent. And, we can't take any team in the playoffs for granted. So it's going to be a hell of a game. So go Lions. And dare I say, gentlemen, a potential New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons first-round playoff matchup. Is that possible? Let's go Pistons.
Listen, that's not a good matchup for us. I'm going to tell you right now. That's not all year. Mr. Rosen.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Graham. Great to be here tonight. Kurt, Graham, fabulous year. Great season. You have nothing to be ashamed about. You guys did amazing. Congratulations again. And listen, January 20th, next Monday is going to be historic on many levels for obvious reasons for some of us. And especially after the day, nighttime comes and hey, my fighting Irish, we'll get into that in a bit, but I'm so pumped up. And lastly, Carson, Lions, looking forward to your game.
Ball.
Comment from our good friend Eddie Murphy. Let's go Irish. Let's get the upset.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, I spoke with you a couple days ago. I mean, I didn't know if you were going to get out of the bed today. I don't know what you took, but you look pretty good, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Miracle medications, prescriptions. Yeah, I was dealing with the upper respiratory infection over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, watched a little football. Didn't watch much, I'll be honest with you. But much better now. Voice may not sound it, but I'm feeling a lot better. Going to get through this hour. And Pistons, I didn't even realize they were playing the other day, Carson. And congratulations on that win. But if that happens, guys, we got to make it happen. We got to get Carson in New Jersey in the summertime down the shore.
That'd be great.
We're watching some NBA playoffs.
No, we got to get Carson to the Garden.
As an enemy. But looking forward to the show. Got a fun one, a lot of football-related stuff, and going to pass it back to you guys.
All right, I'm going to pass it to Mr. Rosen tonight because he's the one going to be hosting. So
right. Well,
I'm going to go to you.
Thank you very much, Kurt. I know Kenny's under the weather a little, so I'm going to co-host Kenny and actually punt it right quickly back to you, Kurt, as you're going to start us off with quick hitters.
All right, couple quick hitters. So we mentioned it before. Obviously, you don't have to ask me. You don't have to ask Graham. But I'm going to ask you guys. Mr. Carson Shear, is Bo Nix the real deal?
Yes, 100% he is. Like I said, a couple weeks ago, I watched that Bengals-Broncos game. He made some ridiculous throws as a rookie, and if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, he would win Rookie of the Year. So I think the Broncos have a bright future. You guys got your quarterback. Sean Payton and him are going to lead the way. He's definitely the real deal.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Yes, and I think he is, and I can't believe I'm saying this because if you asked me this draft time, I thought he was going to be a bust. I think he is better than Jaden Daniels. And I'll tell you real quick, because it's quick hitters. Bo Nix doesn't have any body besides Cortland Sutton. No run game, no tight ends. Jaden Daniels has Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, clear number one wide receiver, and somewhat of a running game. So, yes, I think Bo Nix is the real deal, and he will be the best quarterback out of this draft.
Eddie's kind of saying that you were given some of the good stuff, LOL. So, yeah. Mr. Rosen, is Mr. Rosen the real deal?
I'm going to echo both Carson and Kenny and say absolutely. I'll be the first to say I was wrong when you were hyping Mr. Bo Nix, but hey, I admit I was wrong. He was unbelievable, especially how he fit in with the team that actually lacked a lot of weapons. But the fact that he rose above a lot of what the Broncos had initially and came through much better than I think anybody thought. So congratulations to your franchise quarterback.
All right. Number 2, a player I know Kenny and I have spoke about this player on the air, off the air. Listen, I did like a little kumbaya ceremony on draft night, and that's Zion Williamson. Carson, will Zion Williamson be traded before the trade deadline this year?
Yes, he will.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Yes, and I think it could be to the Knicks.
Paul.
He will be traded. I think we said this a few weeks ago. Don't want him. The Knicks have, I think, settled down into their a cohesive unit. I don't want to break that up right now. I think they're really coming on. They'll come on stronger in the second half. I don't want him on the team.
Eddie's saying, what quarterback hasn't Kurt hyped up? I can name a bunch of them. I have
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, definitely.
Geno Smith.
Yeah. Question number 3, Carson. Give me a percentage that Bill Belichick is still coaching in the NFL next year.
10%.
Kenny.
I'm with Carson, 10%. He's been recruiting in New Jersey this past week.
Paul.
Yeah, I'll go a little higher, maybe 15%.
All right. Will there be another head football coach fired before this offseason begins? Before the offseason begins, like Nick Sirianni, I know Dable's coming back, but just can anybody change their mind? Carson, will there be another head football coach fired before the offseason begins?
Oh, yeah. I think there will be at least one more.
Kenny.
I'm with Carson, yes. One more.
Paul?
Yeah, I'll agree with the guys. One more.
Real quick hitter. Carson, throw somebody out.
Sirianni. If he doesn't beat the Rams, I think his job's on the line.
Kenny?
Echo Carson, Sirianni.
Paul?
I'm going to say, yeah, I'll go with Sirianni. Okay.
All right. I forgot my last. Oh my God, I had one more. I just. Oh, if your team, if you had to hire, if your team had an opening right now, who would you hire that are potential, like that people that are talking about? Ben Johnson, McCarthy, Salah, everybody who's, anyone interviewing for jobs. Carson, if your team had an opening, who would you hire?
Wow. Yeah, there's been a lot of rumors. What's Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn going to do? I think one of them's going to leave. I don't think we're going to keep both again. So I would look at somebody in college, honestly. If it doesn't work in the NFL, there's guys bouncing around from team to team. I would look at a younger college face.
I'm saying, like, if the Lions had an opening right now,
yeah,
like, would you hire Ben Johnson? Would you hire Aaron Glenn? Would you hire Mike McCarthy? Who would you hire out of the group that's being talked about, like people interviewing for jobs?
Ben Johnson, 1,000,000%.
Kenny.
We talked about this, Kurt. Steve Spagnuolo, who coached the Giants before with the defense. I bring him in.
Are you talking about your team particular, Kurt? Like
Yeah,
if I'm
you're saying, like,
as for the
if
Giants,
the Giants handle, but you can't say like you know, Kyle Shanahan, because he's not, and anyone who's being talked about that's doing the interview now. Who would
Okay.
you take?
You know who I would bring in? Pete Carroll if I was the Giants.
Good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right, my last quick hitter. We're at Kansas City. We're at Detroit. We're at Philly. We're at Buffalo. Carson, who has the best home field advantage this weekend?
You have to ask.
Kenny, this is
To
a
be
tough
different,
question. This is a tough question because
Yeah.
all four are legitly tough.
Yeah, just going to be different. They're all tough, like you said, all equal, I think. But I'll go Buffalo. Those fans there are a little crazy. The Mafia is going to be hyped this weekend for sure.
Yeah.
You saw how rowdy they were against Denver.
I know. Paul.
Yeah, Kenny stole my thunder. I'm going to go Mafia. I think those guys, especially, it's going to be cold, freezing Saturday night, Sunday night. It's going to be cold. They're going to be hyped up.
All right, couple comments from Eddie Murphy. If not fired, what about Tomlin? He's saying about heard rumors about Tomlin. Eddie then is saying Ben Johnson, head coach, Salah, DC. Oh, listen to this one. I don't know if Scoop just wants to get me wired up tonight, but he said if the Eagles had an opening, I'd probably give a look to Todd Monken. Listen, Todd, I'm not even going to say it tonight. I'm not even going to say it tonight.
Hey, Ron.
Let Scoops worry about.
Guys, Todd Monken, the guy that ran the ball 8 games in the rain in Baltimore last year. He ran it 8 times. Todd Monken.
Let Scoops worry about his Eagle fans.
Yeah. Manny DeLima. There's Manny DeLima. I want to know who he wants as his head coach. Listen, if Manny DeLima does get Dion, will he come on the show with the glasses and the gold chain like Dion? That's the question.
We got that segment coming up. It's going to be fun. We're going to pick that.
He's saying, let's go Detroit Super Bowl champs. All right, those are my quick hitters.
Good job.
All right. Good job, Kurt.
Nice
All right. Our next segment's going to be college football championship. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Kenny, you want to take it?
No, back to you, Paul. I want you to break down Notre Dame, and then Carson will give us some keys for Ohio State in this game, and then we'll predict it at the end.
All right. Bear with me, guys, since it's my team. Give me a minute. I'm just going to go over something that, given it's my team, I'm going to give me some leeway. So, in my mind, one word describes Notre Dame team in this season: resilience. They withstand, recover quickly from difficulties. They've had toughness all season, and this team has shown toughness. Week 2, horrible loss to Northern Illinois. I think everyone would agree. Fire Marcus Freeman. Get rid of Riley Leonard. He can't throw the ball. He can't run the ball. Then injury after injury to many of their star players. But you know what? Marcus Freeman got his team together and said, no excuses. It's on me. It's next man up and next man up mentality. And you know what? They won 13 straight, built a team culture, believe in the man to the left of you and believe in the man to the right of you. 13 straight, 8 wins against top 25 teams. No conference championship game complaints. Hey, it's not their fault. All of a sudden, everyone started believing in Riley Leonard. He's not the best thrower. He's not the best runner. But you know what? The guy's a winner. Making big play after big play, game after game. And even with all the injuries, the defense ranked really high. They led the nation in 32 turnovers, led one of the best in scoring defense. Notre Dame doesn't have first-round wide receivers or 5-star defensive players or $20 million NIL payrolls. But what they have is a better head coach, Marcus Freeman, and 2 fantastic assistant coaches, offensive coach Mike Denbrook and defensive coach Al Golden. And finally, 3-4 weeks ago, we picked our sleeper team. Yeah, I picked Ohio State, but thinking that we weren't going to play my team, Notre Dame, I thought Ohio State could go all the way. You know what? Notre Dame reminds me of another one of our teams. Kenny, you'll remember it, the 2007 Giants, where they were big underdogs the whole playoffs and given zero chance against a large underdog team, an undefeated New England Patriot, 13.5-point favorites. Notre Dame, of course, is a 9.5-point underdog against Ohio State. So with all this that Notre Dame has faced this year, all the obstacles, I think, in my opinion, Notre Dame, something tells me that they're going to rise above all of this, and I think they're going to pull a tremendous upset, and they're going to win their first national championship since 1988. So, lastly, to channel my best Dickie V voice, here come the Irish, baby! My prediction, Notre Dame 27, Ohio State 20.
Real quick, Jay Cook is saying, "Hey, gentlemen, what's going on?"
Nice,
Jay.
Paul. Let's
That's
do the
my
other side of
overview.
the ball. I know
Yeah, so
Carson's a Michigan State guy, but let's get his thoughts on Ohio State, and then Kurt and I will give us our predictions as well.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, historic season. Marcus Freeman's done an unbelievable job. It's going to come down to the quarterback play, and if they can stop Jeremiah Love, he's been a stud for them all season long. I think Jack Sawyer, he had a huge game against Texas in the semifinals. That defensive front line is no joke. You saw Texas was on the 1-yard line, and they were able to stop them over and over and over again. So I think, they need to stop the run game. I think this is do or die for Ryan Day. And listen, this is the perfect year that the college football playoff expanded, because it pretty much saved him his job, because if it was still a 4-team playoff, he would have been fired after that loss against Michigan. But he's bounced back. He's responded really well. Like I said, pretty great performance over Texas, and they're going to another national championship. So, it's going to come down to, like Paul said, they got 3 great receivers, all going to be in the NFL. And Jeremiah Smith is no joke. Kurt alluded to it a couple weeks ago. This kid's an unbelievable receiver. So he's going to be probably a top 5 pick in the 2027 draft. So, I think this is a huge game for Ryan Day, Ohio State. Will Howard coming from Kansas State, going to Ohio State is a huge game for him. I know Ohio State's favorite. I think it's 8.5-point spread favorite right now. I think, in my opinion, that's way too many points for a national championship game. I would expect it to be 3-4 point spread for the Buckeyes. But this is going to be a great game. It's going to come down to time of possession. Who can, again, the turnover battle is going to be huge here. And it's going to be a one big play mistake from either side. It's going to cost them this game. So, that's going to be an interesting matchup for Ohio State. Again, I can't stand it, like Kenny said, being in Michigan, rooting for Ohio State. So I'll be rooting for Paul's Fighting Irish. But I think it's going to come down to who's going to make that one big turnover play that's going to be the pivotal point in this game.
Kenny, real quick comment from Scoops. He's saying, Paul, if you mean what the degenerate fan was caught on video saying to that Packer fan, I am glad to see how the organization handled it. Being rowdy and bantering and wild is one thing, but he was way past his line. By the way, did you hear that guy got fired from his job?
yes, I heard that too, and rightfully so.
Yep. So he got banned. I think he's banned from the stadium, or NFL banned him, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, the Eagles banned him.
Oh, the Eagles banned him. Okay, so
yeah.
But he also did get fired from his job. I heard that.
Yes, he did. Great. Kenny, what's your thought on the championship game?
I'm going to have a lot of interest in this game, Paul. I don't have a horse in this race, but I'm going to be watching a quarterback very closely in this one. And it's not Riley Leonard, it's Will Howard. This kid has got a chance to be a sneaky pick in this year's draft. He has performed very well and under the radar, in my opinion, with all these other names, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, Quinn Ewers now coming out in the draft he announced today. Will Howard has been playing very well, and I think he fits a Giants system. So I'll be watching that with some interest. As for the game, I think Ohio State is on a different level right now, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong. And I've been wrong many a times. So I'll be rooting for Notre Dame for you, Paul and Jody. But I just think Ohio State is going to have a little too much on defense and on offense. And the second half is going to be a difference here. I'm even going to give you a score. I'm going to go 33-23 Ohio State, hoping I'm wrong, of course.
Kurt, what's your feelings?
Yeah, the one thing, I think, and this is why, when you look at it, and I've always said this with any great team and championship team, you need luck, right? Like, and when I mean luck is maybe the way the ball bounces, maybe the way the schedule comes, maybe somebody loses, like you don't play them, right? So, and I kind of feel like Notre Dame has a little of that, right? Like, hey, they're home against Indiana, right? Indiana really shouldn't have been a playoff team. Then they go and they play Georgia. The problem is you're playing Georgia without their starting quarterback, right? Their backup quarterback, they make a mistake. They get the turnover late. Hey, that's not Notre Dame's problem. That's them capitalizing. You go to Penn State. Why in the world Penn State's throwing the ball with 30 seconds left in that game where, hey, again, that's it. So it's kind of like, a little good draw, a little luck, and hey, now you're in the championship game. And the thing I love about Notre Dame is the way they play it, right? They run it and they play defense. So without a doubt, that is going to keep them in this game. Like they're not going to, unless they say, go ahead, Leonard Riley, throw it 50 times. It's stupid. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that because he's not that kind of quarterback. So they're going to be in the game. I just think that Ohio State is too good. And I think the worst thing that could have happened to everyone else is what happened to Michigan because, and you know what? I love it. I was telling this to Jen the other day. I said, I love the whole, you know what? Hey, if Ryan Day loses this game, I'd still fire him. How do you not win this national? You're a 10-point favorite. Come on. So you know what? I think the pressure's on. I just think Ohio State's the best team. I think Notre Dame, the coaching staff, I think he's doing a great job. I think he keeps them in there, but I'm going to pick Ohio State. I'm picking Ohio State for a couple of maybe financial reasons too. I'm picking Ohio State, but a couple bets going on. But I'm going to take them by 2 touchdowns. I think it's close, and then they break one late and get up win by 2 touchdowns.
Fair enough. Let's hope it's a good, close game, and whoever wins winds up a fair national champion. And hey,
from Jody
tip our
Monty.
caps to them.
He said, let's blank and go. Notre Dame got this. Jay Cook is saying, go Irish. Burnell Smith saying, good evening, guys. What's up?
What's up, Burnell? What's up, Jody? What's up,
Good
Jay?
evening. Go Irish, Jody. All right. Thanks, guys. Good segment. All right. So our next segment, Kenny's going to have, we'll get into the NFL now. So I'll take it. I'll give you back to Kenny.
Yeah. Well, figured let's do this, guys. We got, we had divisional playoffs. We got college football playoffs, but we got some head coaching vacancies. And big news the other day was Mike Vrabel was officially signed with the Patriots after Gerard Mayo getting fired, week before. So calling this head coach bingo, there's our free spot. Mike Vrabel, if you play bingo, you got to get 5 in a line. So we're going to predict where the next coach is going to go. And we'll see how many we can get right in this off season. So you'll see where I'm going with this. So first one I got on here, guys, is the Bears. And best coach in Bears history, in my opinion, was Mike Ditka. So who could be the next Mike Ditka and be the next Bears head coach? So I'm going to go to Carson first. It's how I see it on the screen. Who do you think the next Bears head coach will be, Carson?
I think it all lines up in the stars for Mike McCarthy. I think just going from the Packers to now the Cowboys, I think he wants to stay in the NFC. I think he could go to a good system with Caleb Williams, second-year player, still got a lot of talent around him. He's been, widely regarded as a well-experienced coach with the Packers, and didn't work out so well at the Cowboys. Again, when your starting quarterback goes down, it's kind of hard to succeed. But I think Mike McCarthy's going to be a Bear.
I like that pick. Paul?
I initially thought of Mike McCarthy, Carson, but I'm going to go a different way. And there's a guy who's actually working now because he's in the playoffs, but he's been a quarterback whisperer, and the Bears need to do everything they can to make this guy successful, Caleb Williams. And he was a quarterback whisperer with the Cardinals, with Kyler Murray, and he's done a phenomenal job with the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. And I think he's scheduled to be interviewed by the Bears, but Cliff Kingsbury, I think, would be the perfect coach to bring in to tutor and make Caleb Williams to that next level next year.
Interesting pick there. That's a wild card for sure.
Nice.
Kurt, where are you going?
Couple comments real quick. Our good friend Keith Brugman, Denver Bronco Roundup. These four faces, gotta love the K&K Sports Show. Jay Cook is saying yes. Manny's saying breaking news. Jerry Jones is the next head coach of the Cowboys. Laughing. There's our host backstage saying, speaking as a Bronco fan, I wish we could see Mike Shanahan back in the league. Didn't I say that last week, guys?
Yeah.
Keith is saying, not sure if he interviewed, but Flores from the Vikings, a perfect fit in Chicago. Jody's saying, my guess is McCarthy or Pete Carroll. I'm with Jody and I'm with Carson. I think it's going to be McCarthy. I think it has to be like a McCarthy or a Pete Carroll, maybe Flores, because I think the Bears need like discipline. They need they can't go with as good as I think Ben Johnson would be. I just, you still don't know how he's going to be as a head coach, right? Like, I think they need someone that's going to be disciplined, that's been there, that's done that. This guy's a Super Bowl champion. He's going to whip that team into shape. And think about McCarthy. He's got offensive weapons there. So he's going to look good there, right? He'll fix Caleb Williams a little bit. He'll make that offense look better than it did this year. So then it's like, hey, he did his quote unquote job. Now I got to worry about fixing the defense to become a playoff team. I'm going to go with Carson. I'm going to say McCarthy.
Yeah, I like the McCarthy pick. The Kingsbury one is interesting as well. It's definitely because the Bears wanted to talk to McCarthy and they were holding him back until he got fired. Now the Bears can go out and get McCarthy. So I do like that pick. I'm going to move on to the next one. I'll start this one with Paul. Jacksonville Jaguars. Best coach in their history, in my opinion, was Tom Coughlin.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller market, Paul. You have a pick for the Jaguars?
I have two people. I'll quickly say with Trevor Lawrence, the obvious pick would be having Ben Johnson come in, because look what he did with your guy Jared Goff, Carson. But I heard today, and I don't know how true it is, but I heard today that Robert Saleh might be their number one choice, as crazy as that sounds, for Jacksonville. So obviously you can't believe everything you read, but I'll throw it out there and say Robert Saleh might be their pick as head coach.
Wow, it's a wild one. Yeah, be interesting to see. You never know where the Jaguars are going to go. Kurt, you got one for the Jaguars?
You know what? I'm going Ben Johnson there, because why not, right? That division stinks. First off, you got Trevor Lawrence, so you don't have to worry about a quarterback. You're going to fix the offense, right? I mean, he is a great offensive coordinator. You got the pieces there. I mean, this team was a playoff team, 2 years ago? Last year were they a playoff team? 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago. They won a playoff game, right? They came back, they beat the Chargers, they lost a tough game against the Chiefs. I'm going there. Why? Who are you worried about in that division? Are you afraid of the Houston Texans? I'm sorry. If I'm him, that's where I'm going. I got my quarterback already. I'm going Jacksonville. I'm going to say Ben Johnson. Jody's saying Ben Johnson too.
See, I think that's a good pick, but I think he's going to – I don't know if Ben Johnson – he might have his choice of where to go. And this team, in my opinion, is going to rebuild. I'm going a smaller name, Tampa Bay's coordinator, Liam Cohen. It's a hot name to watch. And I think a smaller market like the Jaguars could be a fit for him. So we'll see. We'll see for sure.
Real quick, Kenny, let me get a couple comments. Keith is Manny's saying he wouldn't mind Witten as the next coach. Keith is saying Rex Ryan to the Bears. There's our good friend Patrick. Aloha, sirs. Does Vance Joseph leave the Broncos in your come at 10 o'clock Eastern in another hour and a half?
What's up, Patrick?
An hour about that. Jody's saying Ben Johnson to Jacksonville. Keith saying I like Saleh and would use him with the Jags. I like Saleh and I take him as my defensive coordinator tomorrow.
Carson, how bad do you think Ben Johnson, your boy, your offensive coordinator to the Jaguars?
Yeah, I do like Ben Johnson. I think that'd be a good fit for him. Obviously, I hope he stays in Detroit, but I want him to succeed wherever he ends up going. Name maybe thrown around the block that people aren't talking about. He's been in the league for several years. He's been out. He had a shot in Washington, didn't really work out so well, but did pretty well with the Panthers. Ron Rivera might give it a shot and come back to the NFL Jaguars. So maybe Rivera.
Nice. Got another smaller name here. There's Sean Payton, the best coach in Saints history. Don't want to say Broncos history, but I'll say Saints history. So we'll give Sean Payton that title.
Maybe.
Kurt. I'm going to start with you. Smaller, not the most popular, spot, but who gets this coaching job?
First off, I love Sean Payton, but don't even put him in the class of Mike Shanahan. He's got a lot of work to do if he's going to.
No, he's the best Saints head coach, though.
Right, Saints, but you said Broncos.
I said he's not the best Broncos. I said Saints.
Okay. Saints head coach, right? See, this is a tough one because this is where I think the Saints are going to go on the defensive side of the ball, right? Like, could I see like a Salah? Could I see? I know Vance Joseph's not interviewing for that. He's doing Raiders and Jets. You know what? Give me. Like I don't think Ron Rivera is going to get that chance there. Give me Salah there. I'm going to put Salah there. I think it's going to be a defensive coach.
Okay, Carson.
Yeah, I think this has Brian Flores' name written all over it. Defensive-minded coach. Saints have prided themselves on being a defensive team. In the Drew Brees era. When they won that Super Bowl, they had a great defense. So I would say Brian Flores. I think given the chance, he would go to the Saints.
I like it. Paul.
I'm going to say a guy that you guys had picked already for the Bears. I'm going to say Mike McCarthy goes down to New Orleans and tries to rebuild that Saint team. He has obviously his background experience, so I think McCarthy might fit in well with them.
I like that too. I'm going to go on the defensive side as well, Carson, and hold your ears. I think this is where you lose Aaron Glenn. I think he gets the chance to build a small market team. The team not much expectations next year, and he gets to build his team. Gets a chance with the Saints and a lower profile job there. So I'm going to go Aaron Glenn. All right, a couple of big boys to wrap up this segment. There's John Madden, the best Raiders coach in history, in my opinion. Go back to Carson. Who do you think is going to be the next Raiders head coach? Tom Brady's going to probably have a say in this.
Yeah, there's been lots of rumors that either, it depends on where Shedeur Sanders ends up. Because if Shedeur Sanders goes to the Raiders, watch out for Dion to the Raiders. But I think realistically, Ben Johnson could go to the Raiders. Big primetime area, Vegas. Like you said, Brady has a huge influence. He's been praising Ben Johnson all season on his broadcasts. So I think this could be Ben Johnson's spot.
Paul.
I have a guy who you and I know very well that I think who would know better than this guy to beat the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo has experience, obviously great defensive coordinator, head coach experience. I think in that division, he certainly would know the personnel. So Steve Spagnuolo coaching the Raiders.
Like it. That's an interesting one. Kurt.
A couple more comments. Jody saying Saints, I think, gets the Bucks OC. There's our good friend Trevor Salzman. Hello, boys. Great to see
Trevor.
you all. Keith is saying Gruden is coming back to Vegas. Jody is saying Pete Carroll to me. Yeah, man, me and Jody should be going to really go to Vegas, start playing tonight because, Carson, I heard a lot. I follow a guy and he said he didn't think it could be Ben Johnson. He said, but Brady's influence on this is really big and that he's really high on Ben Johnson and Ben Johnson's listening. I already picked Ben Johnson to go to Jacksonville in this little exercise, so I'm not going to pick him, but I'm going to go Pete Carroll. I think it's Ben Johnson or Carroll. And since I went Ben Johnson to Jacksonville, I'll say Pete Carroll with Jody to the Raiders.
I'm with you and Jody, Kurt. I'm going Pete Carroll as well. I like that pick. All right, we got a couple more. This one's big. This is Dallas Cowboys. Recently fired McCarthy. I know Carson's got a segment coming up on McCarthy, but who do we think is going to be the next Cowboys head coach, Paul?
Obviously, everyone's talking about Prime going there. I have a sort of sneaky pick who's been a Cowboy, has now gone to a few teams as offensive coordinator. But how about Kellen Moore coming back as coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
Like it.
Nice.
Kurt.
Listen, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? I don't know if Manny's going to be happy about it, but I think it's going to be Dion. He hasn't ruled it out. Now again, is he negotiating with Colorado? I want more money, yada yada yada, and I'm scaring him, maybe. But listen, you're in Dallas. You played for Dallas. I mean, listen, it is one of the ideal jobs in the NFL. There was even talk today of saying, that if they give a guarantee of, listen, we'll trade it all to go get Shador at number 1 if we have to go get him to secure it. Listen, I don't think it would be a smart move because I think, again, what he's like Calipari. He's good at recruiting the guys, right? He's not the best coach. And, he just can't be like, I got to go get these 3 guys. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's a salary cap. But I'm going to say Dion.
Interesting. Carson.
Yeah, I think Pete Carroll could end up here. He's been in the spotlight for a while now. Took the Seahawks a couple Super Bowls. So I think I think Pete Carroll could make his way to Dallas.
I like all your picks here, and I've thought about this one, so I got a long shot. Kurt, the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, who was their head coach?
Barry Switzer.
Where did he come from?
Oklahoma.
Before that was who?
Jimmy Johnson.
Where did he come from?
Miami.
I know you said Deion Sanders. He's got college, but he's got the son coming with him. I got a name, bold, long shot prediction.
Sarkisian?
Steve Sarkisian will be the next Dallas Cowboys head coach. Jerry goes back to college to get his head coach and hope they can leave the Super Bowl memories of the college coaches getting to the Super Bowl. It hasn't worked with anybody else.
Nice.
So that's my long shot prediction.
Let me get to a couple of comments, Kenny, real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and I got one more team for us.
All right, hold on one second. Manny's saying he wants Jason Witten. He doesn't want Dion. Jody's saying, where does Todd Monken go? Jody then is saying Witten to the Cowboys. Keith Brugman, Kellen Moore makes sense because Jerry wants all the control. Prime doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Good point. Manny, Dion already said he'll go to the NFL if he gets to coach both of his sons. Jody's saying Prime is playing the media. Only way he goes if Dak is traded for the number 1 pick. I think that, listen to me, I think if Jerry wants it, I think Jerry would do it. I really do. I think he would trade if he. I don't think. Listen to me. I don't think Dak Prescott is going to be. If he wants Deion Sanders, Dak Prescott's not going to stand in his way of making the move.
No way.
He shouldn't.
Nope. All right, one more I got. We got the Jets opening. Save this for last because we got a lot of New York fans in our group here. So there's Weeb Eubanks, best Jets coach in history. Carson, next Jets head coach will be.
I'm going to go with a different one we haven't mentioned yet. I'll say Jesse Minter, Harbaugh Foundation, got to the Chargers, defensive-minded coach. Jets kind of defense over there. I'm going to say Minter.
That's a sleeper pick. I like that.
Yeah.
Paul.
I'm going to go with a guy who actually the Jets know very well. And Carson, hold your ears. Former great Jets player. And has now turned into one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. But it wouldn't shock me if, I know there's talk about Rex Ryan and all of that, but it would not shock me if the Jets brought in Aaron Glenn as their new head coach.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carson.
That's a good one.
Kurt.
Manny's saying Aaron Glenn. I heard this today, and if this happens, Arthur Smith. I mean, how the hell? I mean, that's insane. That's insane. That's insane.
That would be a Jet hire.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It would be.
You know what? Listen, I would hire Rex Ryan. You know that. I would love. Listen to me. I love Rex Ryan. I mean, I'll say it again. Everybody has failed as the Jet head coach except Rex Ryan, right? I mean, he went to 2 AFC championships game with a rookie quarterback, right? I mean, think about it. You're probably one possession away in that Pittsburgh game that year in that AFC championship game to go into a Super Bowl. So you know what? He could do it. You know what? Like, that's what they need. Like, that's the thing. Like, I like Aaron Glenn. I think he's obviously a great defensive coordinator and stuff like that. But like, you're gonna just throw him to the wolves with the Jets. You know, like, listen, I know the Jets are talented, but I mean, like, if the Jets win 7 games next year in 6 games, I mean, that's a failure for Aaron Glenn. Like, I don't know. I would go get Rex. I would go get Rex, and hey, if it blows up, blow everything over, and then you start over. But
Kenny, can I just interject 2 seconds?
Sure.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
That's okay.
Let me ask you this. Rex Ryan's ego and his whole bravado is so big. So is Aaron Rodgers. How can they both get along on that same team?
I'm going to say yes for this because here's why. Rodgers knows his career is close to done. Rex Ryan, if he doesn't win, his coaching career is going to be done, right? So, like, I've always said it, like, why, you know, if he's the best bet, listen, Rodgers is still Rodgers. I mean, he's not Rodgers from Green Bay. I mean, the guy's 40 years old. But you look at these games, you watch these games. I mean, you would take Sam Darnold over Aaron Rodgers. You would take Jordan Love over. I mean, those guys stink. And by the way, let's get into Sam Darnold. Knock, knock. Remember, Paul? Knock, knock. 60 million? Listen to me.
Horrible.
Sam Darnold shouldn't be, listen, Sam Darnold should be holding a clipboard next year. $60 million. I'd give him $60 million in 10-year contract, $6 million a year. So don't get me started with that guy. But I think they would. I really think they would.
Okay. All right. My pick is, if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm thinking about the Jets. You think Aaron Rodgers is going to be back, and you got a kid, Jordan Travis, who's waiting in the wings to be mentored. So Aaron Rodgers already said he'd be a mentor to a quarterback, to a young quarterback, right? And now you got the offensive mind, Ben Johnson, coming over. Maybe Jordan Travis could be the future of the Jets. If not, you go and draft your quarterback next year. But if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm looking at that offense and saying, yeah, we got weapons here. I'm going here. I got a run game. I got Garrett Wilson. I got, build the offensive line a little bit, and we'll go. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick Ben Johnson. But I'm shocked, guys. I think this guy should get a call. Brilliant offensive mind. Hasn't coached football, Kurt, I believe, since 2011. I just feel this guy would be perfect. I got a picture of him here. It's Mr. Valenti in his St. Mary High School offensive days. Never was a head coach, but offensive coordinator.
Damn right.
Was that 2011, Kurt?
That was probably, that was because after we won 06. That was probably, I would say, 10.
That was your last coach. And just those kids
that wasn't my last
year,
coach. That wasn't my last year.
Kurt's really tiny, or those are monster kids right there.
So. Combination of both.
That's awesome. I didn't know that, Kurt. That's cool.
Woody Johnson, give Kurt Valenti a call. He lives 10 minutes away. He'll put in all the effort in the world, and he'll get your team going.
What I would do is I would just listen to me. I would hire like Wade Phillips and say, listen, I don't care about the defense. I don't give an S about the defense. I'll do the offense. Listen to me. I'll coach Rodgers. But this is breaking news. Carson, do you have a phone by you?
Yes.
All right. I need you to do me a favor. Okay. You got to call 911 in Colorado because I don't know what Keith is smoking, but we got to make sure he's okay. He's saying Darnold over Rodgers, Purdy over Rodgers, and Geno Smith over Rodgers. So I need to make sure, please call, check up, make sure he is okay.
My God.
We need help.
That's funny.
But there's our little coaching bingo, I called it, little predictions. Great job, guys. Good.
Nice segment, Kenny. Very good.
Like Jody Moncrief. Rodgers won't be the quarterback for the Jets. Kirk Cousins or Jackson or Dart from Ole Miss. Trevor saying, I think Aaron Glenn takes the Saints head job. He has ties back to New Orleans and coached under Sean Payton at one point.
Good point,
True.
Trev.
Let me ask you this, Paul, real
Yeah.
quick, 30 seconds or less. Do you think the New York job, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, these people, does it scare them a little of, listen, New York's going to be all over me with the media, especially the Jets. People think the Jets are going to go in and win 10 games to get to the postseason next year. Do you think
Yeah.
that? And should that scare them away because it's New York?
Well, we all agree. We've discussed this over the years that coaching in New York is different than any place else in the country, without a doubt, in my mind anyway. And someone like Aaron Glenn, who's been in New York, played in New York, knows the ups and downs, especially with a team like the Jets, it wouldn't scare him. Especially, and I think any coach that's an assistant that really wants the opportunity, all they want is that one opportunity, that one chance to then get promoted into and get hired into a head coaching position. They don't care where it is. They'll take the pitfalls and the issues with New York. They understand the press, they understand the media and everything like that. But I think anybody that has an opportunity, there's only 32 of these jobs available. If it's in New York, hey, they're going to go for it.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, back to you, Paul.
All right. Carson, you're up.
Yeah.
The Carson's Corner.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Because of time, we're going to skip the Mike McCarthy segment. Plus, we kind of already touched on that a little bit with where he might end up. So we'll talk about the Steelers and their situation. They got blown out in the playoffs first round by the Baltimore Ravens. Brings question marks about Mike Tomlin and his future. I still think that the Steelers should keep Tomlin, but if he decides to go a different route and explore other options to try to win another Super Bowl with a different team, he can very well do so. But he's just been so consistent with the Steelers. But the main question I wanted to talk about is the whole quarterback situation in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, the two quarterbacks. Basically, Justin Fields, the Bears tried to get high value for him when they wanted to part ways and take Caleb number one. And all they could get was a 6th round pick, which in my opinion, I think is a steal for Justin Fields. But they also got Russell Wilson, who Kurt's pretty familiar with, who they let go. And he's on the league minimum right now. So the question is who should be the starting quarterback moving forward? You got Russell Wilson still. He's 36 years old. Or you got the kid Justin Fields, who's 11 years younger. Hasn't been nearly as successful as Russell Wilson. Or do you think that they should possibly take one in the draft this year and move forward with the Steelers? So if you were the decision maker, would you stick with Russ? Would you give Fields more reps? What would you do if you were in the Steelers' shoes? We'll go to Kurt first.
Well, first off, there's no way I'm ever starting that guy on the right on that screen. No way. I tell you, that guy should be catching punts. He should not. But he should be no. He should honestly. He should be the gimmick quarterback. 4th and 1, third goal, second. A 2-point play. All right, we'll put him in. But he's never throwing a pass for me. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. Never. Absolutely not. So, Russ. I mean, again, I got to see who I can get. There's no really quarterback. They're meddling in the, they're not going to have a high draft pick. Listen, they did the whole Kenny Pickett thing. That thing was an absolute disaster, right? So you can't I'm going to take a quarterback number 14 or 19 and listen, me, again, I think I'm a built team. They're a built team. Is Aaron Rodgers back with the Jets? If not, I'm taking an Aaron Rodgers. I would look at a Kirk Cousins. There's nobody out there that really you could go get. So I'm gonna go and say Rodgers, Cousins, Russ. One of those three. I want a veteran with that team.
Fair enough. Paul, what are your thoughts on the Steelers quarterback situation?
Yeah, listen, they're in a tough situation because they make the playoffs, they lose. I think they've lost 6 straight playoff games.
Mhm.
Tomlin is under a lot of pressure. I mean, obviously, he's never he's never had a losing season. That being said, I think you bring back Russ on a 1-year deal. You're not going to get, in my opinion, a better quarterback out there. You're not going to bring Darnold, even a Kirk Cousins. He's just as old as Russ, and I don't think he's as sturdy as Russ. So you bring Russ back, short deal, but you draft a quarterback, second round, third round, you bring someone in, a young guy, and let them compete, and you go from there. They're a win now team. They just need that stability, a quarterback, groom a young quarterback they draft, and go from there. But I don't think you're going to find too many other stable quarterbacks, unfortunately, in the NFL at this point.
Nice. Kenny, you have any thoughts on the Steelers quarterback carousel?
Yeah, I agree with Kurt and Paul. I'm bringing Russ back, and I'm going, like Paul said, I'm drafting a day 2 quarterback, a Kyle McCord, a Will Howard would fit perfect here in a developmental role. And if something was to happen to Russ, they come in, maybe you hit lightning in a bottle, with a day 2 quarterback in year 1. Or if Russ was to falter, you bring in that rookie that we've seen day 2 and day 3 quarterbacks succeed in the NFL in the right situation. And this could be the right situation. So I'm bringing Russ back. I'm not bringing both back. That would be failure. And I'm not bringing Justin Fields back in this situation. So I'm going to keep Russ, and I'm going to keep Tomlin as well. Model of consistency over there at Pittsburgh. Bring maybe an Aaron Jones, who's a free agent, to run the ball, and get a wide receiver in free agency, and this team to be right back in the AFC title next year.
Nice. Yeah, I think all you guys make good points. Like I said, I'm not worried about the Steelers. Whatever happens, whoever they draft, usually it's always a great pick. But like you said, quarterback definitely needs to be addressed. So they'll be fine, though. But that's kind of my thoughts on the Steelers quarterback carousel.
Good job, Carson.
Guys,
you know
Michael
what,
on Theo saying hello.
Hey, Michael.
Hey,
What's up, Michael? What's up? All right, we got one more segment, Paul. Just get right to it since we're getting
go ahead,
short on
Kenny.
time. NFL playoffs. We saved the best for last. It's not wild card weekend. NFL divisional playoffs. One of us has a horse in the race. Unfortunately, Kurt, Graham, Denver Bronco, Michael, Keith, everybody else out there, Trevor. Of course, you guys had, lost your race last week. So we're going to continue. We got the AFC divisional game. Houston Texans versus Kansas City Chiefs. Kurt, I'm going to give you this. Give me a sleeper MVP of this game.
Hollywood Brown.
I like that. And like Graham's going Joe Mixon. That's my pick. Paul, you got one?
Oh, I think Kansas City's going to win. Chris Jones.
Okay. And prediction of the game. Carson will be right back. So, Kurt, give me a prediction in this game.
Yeah, again, this is where, again, just like I mentioned how Notre Dame, it fell through. I mean, the one team, listen, Kansas City probably didn't want to play Denver. They didn't want to play the Chargers, but here comes Houston on the road. I don't trust this team at all. I think Kansas City wins easily. Again, they're going to get beat next week, but this week, I don't trust. Listen, I'm going to root for Houston, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I'll go Kansas City.
Paul.
23-13, Kansas City.
Carson, you're back. I looked at the sleeper MVP in this game.
Sleeper MVP, Hollywood Brown.
That was Kurt's pick. Yep.
Yeah.
That was Kurt's pick. All right, and a prediction in the game.
30-13 Chiefs. They're rested. They're well coached. Andy Reid, the best coach left in this playoffs, coming off the 1 seed. Mahomes, his ankle's fine. I just don't see the Texans really putting much of a fight in this game.
A lot of rest for the Chiefs. I'm not concerned about Mahomes, Kelsey, but these other guys that have had a lot of time off. Some of these guys may come out flat, but that would be just for a quarter. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well here, cover, and I'm going to say 27-17. Chiefs advance to the AFC Championship. Next game, I'll go to Paul first. AFC Sunday night. It's going to be the good one. Baltimore Ravens traveling to Buffalo to Bills Mafia, hosting the Ravens. Paul, give me a sleeper MVP in this game.
I'm torn between these two teams, I swear. But I think Buffalo being home, they're going to win. So I'll take James Cook as my sleeper MVP.
I'm going to double dip on that. I got Buffalo going all the way to the Super Bowl now because they beat Denver. That was my prediction, so I can't go off that. But James Cook has the same type of performance as he did against Denver, and he's the MVP in this game. Carson.
I'm going to go Isaiah Likely for the Ravens.
It's a nice sleeper. I like that. And Paul, I'm sorry, Kurt.
You want sleeper?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Graham. I'm gonna go with our old the guy that's on my wall over here. He's not number 58. He's number 40 now. But I'm gonna take Von Miller in a game like this. Big time postseason. He always delivers. I'm gonna take Von Miller.
Yeah, I get right back prediction, Kurt.
I'm gonna go Buffalo at home. I think if this game was in Baltimore, I think Baltimore should be more talented, but I just do not trust Lamar Jackson in these games. There's no excuse, no BS. I don't want to hear he needs another weapon. I don't want to hear it. He's got everything. He's got everything in this game. Todd Monken, stay home and stay on the bus because this game better be just like Buffalo did last time. Buffalo versus Denver. Run it down your throat. Baltimore, you should run it down your throat. Once Todd Monken lets Lamar go in, here comes the crowd. Buffalo wins. Josh Allen wins it here.
Like it. Paul.
Everything Kurt said, I agree. 31-20, Buffalo.
Like it. Carson.
Yeah, I was back and forth all day on this game. There's a man in the backfield, though. His name's King Henry. Just feed him 30 times this game, control the time of possession, limit the turnovers. Ravens are going to win this game. Lamar has to win this game. So I'm going to go Ravens.
I can't believe I'm saying this, and Baltimore fans, hold your ears, but I'm going Buffalo 34-31. The difference in this game is going to be Justin Tucker, 2 missed field goals. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's what's going to happen. He's had a down, struggling year, and I think it's going to continue. That's a tricky place to kick, Buffalo. 2 missed field goals from Justin Tucker will be the difference in this game. All right, boys. NFC. We'll wrap it up with the NFC. Our first one I got on here, Matthew Stafford and the Rams convincing over the Eagles, convincing over the Vikings, and Eagles convincing over the Packers. They get to face each other in Philly. I'm going to go to Carson first on this one. Sleeper. Give me a sleeper MVP and a prediction.
It's crazy. This is a sleeper pick, but he's been down the last couple of weeks. But they're going to get him more involved in the passing game. Cooper Kupp. Prediction in this game. I love Ryan Scoops, good friend of mine. Possible chance of NFC Championship next week. We got to win both of these games first, though. Let me tell you something, man. The difference maker in this game, it's not Saquon Barkley. It's not Puka Nacua. It's Sean McVay. The coach of this game is going to win them this game, and I think it's Sean McVay. I think he's got this team riled up. What's going on in LA? They got the city all behind them. I can't pick chalk, guys, this entire playoffs. I got to have an upset. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. I think Matthew Stafford is a bad man. When he gets hot at any given situation, he's probably arguably one of the hardest quarterbacks to stop in this playoffs. And if he gets the ball, again, I've seen it my entire life. Minute and 30 seconds left, 2-minute drill. Rams are down 4. Go get a touchdown. Stafford's going to win this game. Rams upset the Eagles 30-27.
I'm going to echo what you said. Just going to pick a different MVP. I'm going to go to tight end Higbee having 2 touchdowns in this game. But I'm going to go around the same score, Carson. I'm going to go 30-27-ish. I got to go with the Rams. I think they got something special going on right now and extra motivation with what's going on out there in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Listen, Scoops, if you're listening, again, just like I said with Ryan Day, you lose this job, wanted head coach. I'm sorry. You cannot lose this game at home. But I'll say this for the Eagles. This is the worst match. No disrespect to the Lions and the Commanders. But I don't like this matchup at all for the Eagles. I don't, unsung, and you know what, Kenny? There's going to be no unsung hero there. MVP, because your MVP is going to be Saquon Barkley.
That's fair.
This guy has to get, I'm not joking, 35 touches this week. Passing, you can't play games now. You got him. He got you here. You're 3 games away from what you want to do. You're at home. Stafford is just insane, man. I would be petrified as an Eagle fan every time this guy has the ball. But I'm just going to take Barkley. I just think the home crowd here, I think it's just a little different. But this game scares me. This game really scares me. I'll tell you right now, like the spread, there's no way I would lay any of those points with the Eagles, but I'm going to take the Eagles. I just think Barkley's too damn good. And I think he's going to, again, he's got to get 30 touches in this game.
Fair. Paul.
I echo everything you guys have said. Carson, it's funny, was when I was picking who I thought might be an unsung hero, I said Cooper Kupp. But you know what? He had 1 reception last week, which was big. And I said to myself, they're going to get this guy involved this week. And listen, watching Stafford last week against the Vikings, he was like an executioner. He was slicing and dicing that team on Monday night. Yeah. And I think if I was hoping and praying that the Rams would beat the Vikings, because I said there's no way the Vikings are going to beat the Eagles if they go into Philadelphia. But if the Rams win, they have absolutely an excellent opportunity to knock them off. That being said, that defense, watching that defense on Monday night was like watching the fearsome, foursome Rams of the 60s and 70s with that defensive line. Oh, my God. I mean, of course, the Eagle offensive line is a lot better, but if the Ram defense plays anywhere near what they did on Monday night, this is going to be a tough matchup for the Eagles and Saquon. So I'm going with the Rams in this game, like you guys.
Nice. And Carson, you got a pick in this one?
Yeah, I think Rams upset the Eagles. Don't let Matthew Stafford have 1 minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes left on the clock in the last possession of the game. He will destroy any opponent in his way. I've seen it a decade in my life. He's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL. When he gets hot, do not let him get the ball last, Ryan. You better not let him get the ball last, because he's going to have a game-winning drive, I'm telling you.
Yep. And we got one more game. We got one person on this panel who's got a horse in the race yet. So we saved this game for last, and he will go last with his thoughts on the game. So I'm going to go to Paul first.
Okay.
Commanders at Carson's Detroit Lions. Saturday night.
As crazy as it sounds, you got to tip your cap to what the Commanders have done this year. Coach Breslin, you have every reason to be excited for this game and for the near future. This kid is the real deal. Hopefully he stays healthy for you guys. But that all being said, they've had a phenomenal year. But like the Broncos, I think, unfortunately, the Lions are on a mission. The Lions have everything to prove after last year getting to the championship game, which they probably should have won. Sorry, Carson. But that's not going to happen again this year. They're at home. They have the home field advantage, and they are not going to screw around this year, this season and this game, and they're going to wind up beating the Commanders. I think actually kind of pretty handily, in my opinion. And I think Jameson Williams is going to be their MVP. He's going to have a tremendous game. Goff is going to be ready. And I think the Lions are going to win. I'm going to say something like 38-17 against the Commanders.
Nice.
Like it, Paul. I'm going to go a little closer, but I'm with Paul. Carson, you're going to exploit this secondary. The Commanders' secondary is not good. They got Marshawn Lattimore back from injury, but they're going to exploit St. Juste and the rest of the secondary. It's really bad. And I think St. Brown's going to have a big game. I think the offense is going to put up in the mid to high 30s, but Lions defense has been a little banged up too. So I'm going to go about a 38-24-ish type of game. And my unsung hero is going to be Sam Laporta is going to be the difference maker in this one because of their secondary being so weak. they're going to forget about Laporta. Laporta is going to have a huge game in this one. Kurt.
Yeah, listen, I could see this game, oh, Commanders are up 10-3 and oh, here we go. And I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I think this is your blowout of the week. Sorry about that, Carson. Coach Breslin, go get your potato chips, right, Kenny? on all in.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, not for nothing. They won a road playoff game in Tampa Bay. That was Tampa Bay. That's not Buffalo. It's not Kansas City. It's not Philadelphia. It's not Detroit. You played where, I mean, did they even know Tampa Bay there was a playoff game last week? I mean, I'm serious. Like, you're going into a different animal here, and you're not going to play, and Jalen Daniels has been good. Don't get me wrong. But this is the game where I can see, now the Lions jump out to a 21-10 lead. And all right, go ahead. And here comes Cliff Kingsbury, airing it out. And here comes a pick. And I just think it could just implode. So I love the Lions. Lay it. I love the Lions in this game. Big.
Kurt, Michael Ronquillo saying to you, Carson, Detroit Lions is my Super Bowl champion. This is for you, Carson.
Thanks, Michael.
Kenny, remember this. Paul just said it. And I'm a big believer in this. The Lions have waited almost a year for this game. Not opening night, for this game. They've waited a year. Because, like you said, Paul, they should have won that game last year. And all the regular season didn't matter. Now it matters. And you have a whole year to let loose on somebody. And I think the Commanders are going to be wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
All right. The floor is Carson's. Let's hand it off to him. His Lions hosting the Commanders Saturday night. He's been waiting a year for it.
Yeah. Last time this game was huge in the playoffs, 1991, Redskins at the time, Lions, NFC Championship game. Commanders steamrolled us, 41-10. This is revenge 30 years later, man. Commanders are coming into our house, Ford Field. I was at the first playoff game last year with my grandma. We beat Stafford and the Rams, one of the greatest nights ever. And listen, shout out to Jaden Daniels, Dan Quinn, hell of a coaching staff over there, Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson. They got a great future. There's a reason, though, why the spread's 8.5 for Detroit. This is one of the most expensive tickets, by the way, in postseason history. Standing room price going at a whopping $600 to stand at Ford Field this Saturday. This is the moneymaker. 3 more wins. The city's been dying for this forever. You got to get the Commanders, though. This is a team you cannot take for granted. Any team in the playoffs, you got to give them respect. This is going to be a great game, man. I think it's going to be a shootout. A lot of points scored in this game. The Commanders have the 30th ranked run defense in the NFL. And they got a Baker Mayfield turnover gift that won them that football game, and a double doink off the upright that won them that game last week. So go Lions. Like I said, not going to make a pick. I don't want to jinx myself, but feed Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and we will be fine.
Montgomery's coming back. We'll be back.
Montgomery's going to be back. Yep.
Nice.
Go Lions. That's big motivation for the Lions there. All right, Kurt, let's get some final thoughts in. Great show, guys.
Yeah, great show, guys.
Great show.
I'll just end it with this. Personally, Broncos, unbelievable run. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. And you know what? This is the best weekend of football. You got the best teams in football playing. You got 4 great games. I love how they do it too. It's the 4:30 to 8, and then they do the 3 and 6:30. So you got football all day and all night. But I'm excited. And then you got Monday afternoon, Monday morning. I'm ready for that. I got my Knicks. I got something big going down in Washington, and then I got the national championship game. So I will not be leaving on Monday. I won't be leaving the house. But other than that, great show. And Mr. Carson Shear.
Yeah, I got to run, guys, so I'll say my final thoughts really fast. But yeah, great show as always, boys. Love talking sports with you all. Thanks, everybody in the chat, listening, tuning in for us. But yeah, go Lions. Again, this is going to be probably the biggest 3-4 week stretch ever in this Detroit history for the Lions. So we got to focus on the Commanders one game at a time, and we'll see what happens.
Good luck, Carson. Thanks
Good
for
luck,
hanging
Carson.
out to the end. We'll see you in a few minutes. Go check out Carson on Ticket Time Live. He'll be over there, YouTube and Kick right now. Thanks, Carson.
Mr. Rosen, final
Good night.
thought.
Great show, guys. Always a pleasure talking, especially college and NFL. And Monday can't come fast enough for many of us. It's going to be an historic day and night, and we'll leave it at that. And it's going to be just a unbelievable day and night, and I can't wait for both instances. Let's put it that way. Go Irish.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Thank you guys for
Thank you,
holding
Graham,
down the
too. Thank
fort
you,
tonight.
Thank you, Graham.
Graham. Thank you, Carson. Like I said, Carson, nice enough to hang out. He's supposed to be starting at 9 o'clock. He hung out with us. He's running late on his stream, job, show, whatever you want to, all of the above. So thank you to Carson. Great job. Good luck to Carson. He's still got a horse in the race. So let's go Lions. Let's all be Lion fans for Carson. We got nothing against the Lions. So let's, give him some love. And yeah, glad I'm feeling better. Glad I could tough out the hour with you guys. So the hour went by fast. Like you said, looking forward to Saturday, looking forward to Sunday, and looking forward to Monday, of course. So it's going to be a fun weekend for sure. Hopefully by Monday night, we all can be happy on all of the outcomes of the weekend. So, and then, hope good luck to Paul as well on Notre Dame fighting Irish Monday night as well.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll see everybody next week. Kurt, let's talk Broncos with Jen. And again, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. And go check out Kurt in about 45 minutes.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.